Hello, my name is Mike Changelitis, and I'm the founder of Cornerable Software. This is the first video of a two-part series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to download, parse, and save a Red Hat Enterprise Linux audit.log file to the Cornerable Server Manager 2023 log database. In part 2, I will show you how to create a single seam report that displays a horizontal bar chart of successful logons on both a Red Hat host and a Windows domain, and then lists all successful entries from both environments for the last 24 hours. How does Cornerable Server Manager gain access to the audit log? First, Server Manager uses an automated SSL shell connection to connect the audit log file to a temporary directory which a non-root account can gain access to. Second, Server Manager uses an SFTP over SSH connection to read the contents of the temporary file, parse the entries, then save the parse entries to the log database. Finally, Server Manager uses another automated SSL shell connection to delete the temporary file. Okay, let's show you how this is accomplished, but first a note about Red Hat, Linux, and other Unix-based flavors. Just about every Red Hat installation is unique in its configuration. My installation of Red Hat is no different. Cornerable Server Manager includes 3 sample templates that support the default Red Hat image Microsoft offers on Azure. Regardless of your environment, you will likely need to modify each of these templates to implement the audit log consolidation and backup in your environment. Let's get started. First, let's configure the Red Hat connection. From the menu bar, select File, New. The Create New Object view displays. From the Create New Object view, select Computers, Devices, and Endpoints. The Add Computer, Device, or Endpoint dialog displays. From the Add Computer, Device, or Endpoint dialog, specify the IP address or the host name of your Red Hat server, then click OK. The host is added to the software, then the Host Properties view automatically displays. From the Host Properties view, select the SSH SFTP tab. Next, specify your login credentials. When I created my Azure Red Hat VM, I chose to use a private key file. To specify my credentials, I need to specify my username, no password, then select my key file. Once you have entered your credentials, click the Test button. Note, the test function uses SFTP to test the connection. To test the SSH shell connection, click the SSH shell button. Next, let's look at the templates required to consolidate Red Hat audit logs. From the Explorer view, expand Templates, Sample Templates, Red Hat. Notice there are 6 templates listed: Audit log create temp file, Audit log delete temp file, CPU, disk space, memory, and Red Hat audit log consolidation. If we open the audit log create temp file template, we can see the SSH commands required to copy the audit log file to a temporary directory for consumption through SFTP. They are use the response field to insert any required passwords. This value is masked in the viewer and saved using FIPS-compliant AES encryption. To test the template, select the target host, then click the Execute button. The results are displayed in the shell viewer. For example, if we open the audit.log delete temp file template, we can see the SSH commands required to delete the audit.log file once complete. They are: to test the template, select the target host, then click the Execute button. The results are displayed in the shell viewer. For example, next, let's open the Red Hat audit.log consolidation template. From the General tab, use the Schedule drop-down to select the frequency to download the audit.log entries. For example, once every 30 minutes. Select the Files tab. Notice the audit.log file is pre-populated. The above-mentioned template moves the file to this location, which is where we are going to look for the file. To specify another location, select your target Red Hat Linux host, then navigate to the location you would like to download the log from. Note, when rolling files, the best implementation saves current log entries to a dated file name. For a proper implementation, take a look at how Microsoft saves IIS log files, then reproduce the configuration on your Red Hat server. Once implemented, use the date-time search criteria tags, for example, YYYMMDD. In this scenario, Server Manager reads the previous day's file after each file is rolled, prior to reading the current file, eliminating any possibility of lost entries. Next, select the Read Options tab. Notice the Read option is set to beginning of file. This option configures Server Manager to read the entire file the first time it is read, then subsequent reads start from the last read location. If the file has been truncated, Server Manager searches for the last read entry, then once found, reads from that location. If the file was rolled, the new file is read from the beginning of the file. Next, select the Options tab. Use the Log Entry Retention Policy drop-down to select the Log Entry Retention Policy. For example, archive entries older than 30 days, and remove archived entries older than 120 days, for a total of 150 days. Next, select the Columns tab. This is where the real lifting happens. Server Manager uses regular expressions to extract attribute value pairs prior to saving each entry to the log database. You have the option to save the entries without regular expressions. However, this format enables you to easily create filters for specific attribute value pairs. Each Red Hat audit.log file is likely configured differently, so your regular expressions may need to be altered. This is just a sample, and this article is not a tutorial on regular expressions, so I'm going to skip past the explanations of each regular expression. Next, select the Monitor tab. Use this view to configure any real-time monitoring you would like to execute, for example, to get notified when a particular administrator logs into the server. Since this is a Red Hat host, skip past the agent template. Finally, select the Actions tab. Notice the Execute audit.log create temp file action is assigned to the Start Action list, and the Execute audit.log delete temp file action is assigned to the OnComplete action list. If I double-click on either of these actions, we can see the action is configured to run the reference template that either copies or deletes the audit log. Finally, assign the Red Hat server to the template. Click Close, then when prompted, save your changes. To see this in action, find your Red Hat host, expand, Find the assigned template, then right-click and select Execute Verbose. The Monitor Status view displays. From the Monitor Status view, select the Verbose tab. Notice the verbose output. Once complete, select the Data Properties tab. From the Data Properties tab, notice the Data Summary, which includes details such as the number of log entries saved to the database. To view the saved entries, click the View button. The Select Log Viewer Options dialog displays. Leave the defaults, then click OK. The consolidated log viewer is displayed, and we can see the parsed audit log entries. That's part 1 of Red Hat Audit Log Consolidation.